On the 19th of December 2025, the last Y train rolled inside the depot, marking the end of a 60-year-long era. The Y trains, as they were known, came into being in the 1960s when the private railways Scandia rail buses from the 1940s were starting to show their age, and the railways were now looking for the replacements. Initially, a committee was appointed to decide on the new type. They tested different types in Germany, including a battery train, but without success, after which they went to Sweden. Here they learned that the development in rail buses could be more easily transferred to the conditions of the private Danish railways. The Swedish paprika trains, in particular, made an impression on the committee, and they began to sketch out the train of the future, after which they obtained offers from manufacturers. Hilding Carlsen, who was behind the popular paprika trains, also made an offer, but it was the German Uerdingen that won out with their proposal in 1963. The train was heavily inspired by the paprika train, but differed in that Uerdingen had benefited from its tram production when it came to doors and bogies, as well as the front design. Scandia and Renders also offered a free car set, but after concerns about the Swedish trains running on the track, and Uerdingen providing guarantees on the running characteristics, the collaboration with the German factory continued. The first order was placed in November 1963, with the first trains to be delivered in 1965. The new trains were delivered on time and was presented from the start as the train of the future, as PR was very important for the private railways in the competition with the road traffic. The first railways to receive the new trains was the Lolland Railway, which before receiving them had announced a competition on what to call the new trains, and they were given the name Lynetten. Another name that the trains carried on was the Grisen, or the pig, a name that had migrated from the local railway at Neum. And over the years, trains were delivered across 7 series, including one to DSB, which at the time needed new trains for the line called the Little North, between Helsingør and Hillerød. A kind of 8th series was also delivered, but here it was a single car built for the insurance amount after a car at Scansbane was completely written off in an accident. The Lemvig Railways trains, as seen here, are part of the 7th series, which for this line consisted of an order of 3 trains. The series itself was partially produced between Germany and Denmark, as the trains arrived in a raw form at Scania and Randers, and were fully assembled here. The 3 sets for the Lemvig line were named Storen, Wien and Tangen. However, in 2013, Wien was involved in an accident and was subsequently scrapped, after which a set was purchased from the North Jutland Railways and named Heden. In 2010, the line received its last Y train when the Mid-Jutland Railways purchased a 3-car set from Regions Trains on Zealand, giving the line its only set with a motor unit at each end. Another acquisition worth mentioning is the railbus purchased in 1999 from the local railway in Neum, YM15. It was named Fjorden, but quickly proved too small and was for many years rented out to the Mountain Railway Society, which ran heritage trains in Lemvig. And at the time of release of this video, it is in 4 at the Mountain Railway's headquarters. In 2025, the 4 white trains on the Lemvig line were joined by brand new battery trains from Siemens in Germany, and on December 19th, they were inaugurated in Lemvig at a grand celebration attended by the king himself. In the future, the battery trains will be responsible for the operations between Lemvig and Thyborøn and between Holstebro and Skjern. But what about the Y trains? Well, their future is at least secure. One set will remain at the Midtjylland Railways as a break room. One will be reserved by the Danish Railway Club and will run in Gedser, and the remaining carriages will be scattered around the landscape to the delight of the many locals along the line. The white trains will hang around for a while longer though, and are not expected to be completely decommissioned until the first half of 2026, after which they can be passed on to their new owners. Thank you for watching this last and much delayed episode of the Danish Railway Series Advent Calendar. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from here on out. See you all in 2026.